Hello there, I'm Nadia Azmi and this is Nightline, the top stories. Micro-food businesses exempted from LPG permit rule until October. And Balik Kampung turns tragic after 3 IKBN students killed in crash with MPV. Good morning. The government has allowed micro and small-scale food and retail businesses to continue using subsidised liquefied petroleum gas or LPG cylinders until October. Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Minister Dato' Armizan Muhammad Ali said the exemption was granted after the Cabinet agreed with the Ministry's recommendation to amend the Control of Supplies Amendment Regulations 2021.
Sepanjang tempoh operasi gas memasak, Ops gasak dan juga sehinggalah dimuktamadkan pindaan kepada peraturan-peraturan kawalan bekalan tersebut, 2 perkara. Pertama, tidak ada sebarang tindakan undang-undang diambil terhadap perniagaan jualan dan makanan berskala mikro dan kecil berkaitan penggunaan silinder LPG bagi keperluan premis perniagaan masing-masing.
Speaking to the media in Putrajaya, Armizan added that micro and small-scale food and beverage businesses are allowed to use subsidised LPG cylinders without a scheduled controlled goods permit. The minister noted that engagement sessions will be held with various stakeholders on Friday to gather feedback and ensure effective compliance. Ops Gasak, which runs from May 1st to October 31st, aims to curb illegal activities such as transferring gas from subsidised to non-subsidised cylinders, smuggling and the misuse of subsidised LPG by medium and large-scale industrial sectors. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission MCMC will begin monitoring the online sale of electronic cigarettes and vaping products. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fadil said the ministry has observed that many of these transactions take place on social media and online messaging platforms. According to Fahmi, MCMC will prepare a report on the matter before presenting it to the Cabinet for further action.
Saya akan mengarahkan MCMC untuk meneliti jualan produk-produk seperti itu dalam talian. Kita dapati banyak daripada jualan ini juga berlaku dalam platform seperti Facebook. Ada yang jual melalui WhatsApp. Dan sudah pasti sebarang tindakan pengkuasaan juga akan melibatkan pihak KPDN.
A number of states have already banned the sale of vape products, namely Johor, Terengganu, Kelantan, Perlis and Kedah. TV3 previously revealed that a teenager had become addicted to vape liquids containing synthetic drugs. The banned substance, known as magic mushrooms, is believed to be distributed illegally among students and is sold for as low as RM1 per drop. In another development, the Customs Department seized more than RM5 million worth of electronic cigarette devices and liquids in 2 major anti-smuggling operations conducted in April. Pulau Pinang Customs Director Rohaizat Ali said the seizures were the first to involve vape products this year. The raids were conducted at the North Butterworth Container Terminal in Pulau Pinang on April 3rd and a week later in Port Klang, Selangor. In the Butterworth operation, a shipping agent and a Chinese national in their 30s were detained after officers recovered items worth RM1.33 million, with unpaid duties and taxes amounting to RM205,400. In the Port Klang raid, a shipping agent in his 40s was arrested following the seizure of items estimated at RM2.8 million, with potential tax and duty losses exceeding RM830,000. Both cases are being investigated under the Customs Act, which provides for fines of up to RM500,000, imprisonment of up to 7 years, or both for false declarations. In Kedah, 3 National Youth Skills Institute IKBN students on their way home for Hari Raya Aidil-Adha were killed when their motorcycles crashed into an MPV on the North-South Expressway in Alostar on Thursday. Another pillion rider was seriously injured in the 2:10 p.m. accident. Kota Star District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Siti Nur Salawati Saad said initial investigations showed that the incident involved a multi-purpose vehicle and 2 motorcycles. The crash is believed to have occurred when one of the riders lost control of his vehicle and collided with the MPV, which was parked in the emergency lane. A second motorcycle, which was coming from behind, failed to stop in time and collided with the first motorcycle. 2 riders and a pillion rider, all aged 19, were killed on the spot. Their remains were sent to the Sultanah Bahia Hospital, while the injured victim is being treated at the same hospital. The MPV driver has been detained to assist in the investigations under the Road Transport Act. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, or MACC, has obtained authorization from the Deputy Public Prosecutor to seize Ilhham Tower in Kuala Lumpur. The tower is said to be linked to former Finance Minister Tun Daim Zainuddin. The seizure is based on a notice of seizure of immovable property dated June 4, 2025 under the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act. The tower was also seized 2 years ago, but under the MACC Act, which deals with the seizure of immovable property. All dealings involving the transfer of ownership of the said immovable property are now prohibited. In the federal capital, 13 foreigners were nabbed on Tuesday for operating illegal homestays. The Immigration Department said the operation along Jalan Ipoh and Jalan Sultan Ismail was conducted following 2 weeks of surveillance. Those picked up were 10 Bangladeshis, 1 Indonesian, an Indian and a Filipino national aged between 24 and 40. The group managed homestays for about a year by renting them from local owners. The suspects have been taken to the Putrajaya Immigration Department for further action. In Kelantan, heavy congestion gripped the immigration, customs, quarantine and security complex at the border crossing in Rantal Panjang as Thai nationals make their way home to celebrate Hari Raya Aidil-Adha. Checks at the border crossing found travellers queuing as early as 5 a.m, although the gates only opened at 7 a.m. The large crowd began massing at the border on Wednesday. Traffic leading to the complex stretched for more than 1 kilometre, with long queues of vehicles inching forward throughout the day. The crowd largely comprised Thai citizens heading home for the holidays. Some Malaysians were also travelling into southern Thailand for a short getaway during the school break and festive weekend. The Education Ministry has allocated 88 million ringgit to build additional classrooms to address the issue of 121 densely populated schools across 7 states. In a statement on Thursday, the ministry said the new classrooms will be equipped with basic facilities as well as teaching aids and furniture. The initiative will serve as a short-term and effective solution for densely populated schools. The project will be carried out by the Public Works Department and will involve 103 schools in Selangor, 8 in Perak, 4 in Pahang, 3 in Negeri Sembilan and 1 each in Terengganu, Kuala Lumpur and Pulau Pinang. The Prime Minister has filed a notice of appeal against the Kuala Lumpur High Court's decision to reject his bid to defer 8 constitutional questions to the Federal Court. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim filed the notice at the Court of Appeal's Registrar's Office in Putrajaya through law firm Messrs. Zain, Megat and Murad. His defence lawyer, Datuk Seri Rajasagaran Krishnan, when contacted, said the notice was filed on Wednesday following the High Court ruling. According to Anwar, his application to refer the questions was not an attempt to seek personal immunity or to avoid legal scrutiny, but rather to uphold the integrity of the constitutional system. He added that the application was also made to ensure that the highest public offices are protected from litigation that may be strategically orchestrated, politically motivated or aimed at disrupting institutions. The impact of the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone, or JSSEZ, is already being felt, with Johor recording 27.4 billion ringgit in foreign direct investment (FDI) in the first quarter of this year. Johor Menteri Besar Dato' Onn Hafiz Ghazi said this was a substantial increase from the inflow recorded in the same period last year. He noted that in the first quarter of 2024, Johor recorded an inflow of only 4 billion ringgit in FDI, marking an increment of 24 billion ringgit within just 1 year. He said the federal government has allocated about 5 million ringgit to upgrade infrastructure within the SEZ area to ensure that it is of world-class standard. The JSSEZ is a landmark bilateral initiative aimed at strengthening economic integration, connectivity and cooperation between Malaysia and Singapore, particularly through Johor. Business engagements at the Malaysian Palm Oil Forum Philippines 2025 have unlocked an estimated 122 million ringgit in potential trade, reinforcing Malaysia's role as a major palm oil supplier in the ASEAN region. The two-day event, held in Manila from June 3rd to 4th and hosted by the Malaysian Palm Oil Council (MPOC), brought together over 400 participants. In a statement, the MPOC said the Philippines remains one of Malaysia's most important trade partners in the ASEAN region. In 2024, the Philippines imported about 1.1 million tons of palm oil, with Malaysia supplying 61% of its palm oil, solidifying its role as the top supplier. The strategy is focused on ASEAN, Africa and West Asia and has already yielded results, with exports to such regions growing by 24%, marking a shift in Malaysia's export landscape. The United Kingdom has been temporarily exempted from US President Donald Trump's new 50% tariffs on steel and aluminium. London on Wednesday said it was the only nation currently spared from the hike, with the existing 25% rate still in place while talks continue. Washington has given the UK until July 9th to finalise a deal that would make the exemption permanent, with conditions to cut Chinese links in steel supply chains. British industry leaders, however, have expressed concerns over the uncertainty, with local companies seeking clarity on the terms of the exemption. Eight students charged for assaulting classmate. This and more after the break.
Kerja buat apa? Ni aku nak buka bisnes kopi untuk kita ni. Konsep bisnes kita ni mewah. Biji kopi tu sini kena rare.
Drama bersiri sulung Nik Amir Mustafa.
Aku rasa aku tak boleh jual lah main ni.
Lelaki tak bercerita, tapi diam-diam je. Move on. Bina life baru.
Tapi perangai you macam...
Tepi. Ya, you tak apa. You okey.
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
Ini kisah kita semua penuh drama.
41 tahun TV3 berkongsi cerita bersama rakyat Malaysia.
Rasa nak makan yang rebus-rebus?
Boleh aja, macam-macam ada.
Dalam mendidik perlu ada seni dan sabar.
Jangan sampai niat mendidik menjadi satu bentuk hukuman pula.
Pernahkah anda dengar tentang SLE?
Ketahui penyakit autoimun yang sering menyerang kaum wanita.
Berkorban dalam diam tapi diri keletihan.
Pengorbanan kadang tak disedari tapi besar artinya.
Semuanya di WHI TV3
dan stream sekarang di Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Tanyalah Ustaz, minggu ini Isnin, pengurusan pesakit dan jenazah. Selasa, khutbah terakhir Rasulullah. Rabu, Arafah itu haji. Khamis, pelantikan dan kematian Khalifah Islam. Jumaat, doa yang tidak tertolak. Sabtu, takbir dan tuntutan korban. Ahad, Zulhijjah, pelengkap kalender Islam. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9.
Kita bertemu dalam My Quran Time.
114 surah, 6,236 ayat, 30 juzu. Sesiapa yang membaca satu huruf, maka baginya 10 kali ganda kebaikan. Jadi, sudahkah anda membaca Al-Quran hari ini? My #Quran Time 2.0 setiap hari 12.30 hari di TV9, juga di saluran Astro 149.
Welcome back. In Kuala Lumpur, police have confirmed that the body found at a construction site in Bangsar is that of missing British backpacker Jordan Johnson Doyle. Kuala Lumpur City Police Chief Datuk Rusdi Muhammad Isa said the deceased was identified by his uncle based on a tattoo on his body. Rusdi said according to the post-mortem report, the cause of death was a chest injury due to a fall from height. He added that there was no evidence of foul play and the case has been classified as sudden death. Police discovered the body in the elevator shaft of a partially constructed condominium. The 25-year-old was last seen at a bar located at Jalan Telawi on May 27th. His disappearance came to light when his family and friends were unable to reach him by phone and saw that his social media accounts had gone silent. Eight students from University Malaysia Terengganu or UMT pleaded not guilty at the Kuala Terengganu Magistrates Court on Tuesday to a charge of causing grievous injuries to a fellow student last year. The accused, all male and aged between 21 and 23, entered the plea after the charge was read by the court interpreter before Magistrate Ifa Nabiha Muhammad Ishaq. The accused are Azizul Hakim Norman, Alex Vincent Tarang Anak Ruan, Harid Haizat Ahmad Jalani, Muhammad Syahmi Solihin Muhammad Khairuddin, Muhammad Shazwan Abdul Muti, Muhammad Zam Firdaus Muhammad Nizam, Muhammad Zulhilmi Abdullah and Muhammad Afnan Hakim Adnan alias Cheyong. All 8 students were alleged to have intentionally caused grievous hurt to the 21-year-old victim. They were charged with committing the offence at UMT's Kuala Nerus branch on December 15th last year. The charge was framed under the Penal Code for voluntarily causing grievous hurt, which carries a maximum sentence of 7 years imprisonment and a fine upon conviction. The court set July 6 for mention and granted bail of 5,000 ringgit to all the accused. In Selangor, a factory bus carrying 44 male foreign workers overturned early Thursday in a road accident in Bangi, leaving 33 people injured. The bus is believed to have lost control before veering off the road and overturning at Section 13, Bandar Baru Bangi. The Selangor Fire and Rescue Department was alerted at 6:59 a.m. Their rescue team arrived at the scene by 7:05 a.m. Of the 44 passengers, 33 sustained minor injuries. 8 were taken to the Kajang and Serdang hospitals, while the remaining victims received treatment at the scene of the accident. 2 people bearing the title of Dato' have been detained in connection with an alleged scam involving fraudulent offers of free Hajj pilgrimage packages. The suspects, a 36-year-old man and a 39-year-old woman, were arrested earlier this week and later released on police bail following the expiry of their remand. According to the Acting Director of Bukit Aman's Commercial Crime Investigation Department, Datuk Seri Muhammad Hasbullah Ali, the 2 suspects are being investigated under the Penal Code for cheating and attempted cheating. The case surfaced during a special operation after police were alerted to a group of would-be pilgrims stranded at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport on Monday. Investigators believe the scam was perpetrated under the guise of an official Hajj travel operator. So far, 7 police reports have been filed concerning the alleged scam involving the same company. Authorities are investigating the extent of the deception and have not ruled out further arrests or additional charges as the inquiry progresses. Donald Trump reinstates US travel ban. The details when Nightline returns.
Apa yang menarik di MHI minggu ini?
Selain persembahan Hari Gawai, jom bawa anak-anak ke Balai Seni Negara sempat pada cuti sekolah?
Bahaya rokok elektronik ataupun vape tapi masih ramai yang tidak cakna.
Wajarkah had pencen dinaikkan ke usia 65 tahun?
Pastikan anda selenggara wayar dalam rumah, takut nanti terkena rita pintas pula. Isnin hingga Jumaat jam 10 pagi ditonton.
Juga eksklusif di TV3.
Tanyalah Ustaz, minggu ini Isnin, pengurusan pesakit dan jenazah. Selasa, khutbah terakhir Rasulullah. Rabu, Arafah itu haji. Khamis, pelantikan dan kematian Khalifah Islam. Jumaat, doa yang tidak tertolak. Sabtu, takbir dan tuntutan korban. Ahad, Zulhijjah, pelengkap kalender Islam. Tanyalah Ustaz, biar tahu jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9.
Ini kisah kita semua penuh drama.
41 tahun TV3 berkongsi cerita bersama rakyat Malaysia.
Rasa nak makan yang rebus-rebus?
Boleh aja, macam-macam ada.
Dalam mendidik perlu ada seni dan sabar.
Jangan sampai niat mendidik menjadi satu bentuk hukuman pula.
Pernahkah anda dengar tentang SLE?
Ketahui penyakit autoimun yang sering menyerang kaum wanita.
Berkorban dalam diam tapi diri keletihan.
Pengorbanan kadang tak disedari tapi besar artinya.
Semuanya di WHI TV3
dan stream sekarang ditonton.
Wanita hari ini.
A woman's spirit is boundless. So grab your coffee cups and wear your sassiest smile. Because this season, we're louder than ever. We talk career, health, finance, relationships, and everything in between. Women's Talk is here to empower and inspire you. Join us on Women's Talk every Saturday, 5 p.m. only on TV3 and stream now on Thursday.
Kita bertemu dalam My Quran Time.
114 surah, 6,236 ayat, 30 juzu. Sesiapa yang membaca satu huruf, maka baginya 10 kali ganda kebaikan. Jadi, sudahkah anda membaca Al-Quran hari ini? My #Quran Time 2.0 setiap hari 12.30 hari di TV9, juga di saluran Astro 149.
Mira nak kongsikan sedikit panduan keselamatan anak ketika di luar rumah. Pastikan keadaan sekeliling, pantau pergerakan anak dan jangan biarkan mereka berkeliaran jauh daripada anda. Elakkan pemakaian barang kemas yang berlebihan. Yang terakhir, boleh bawa whistle bersama. Jerit sekuat hati atau tiup whistle untuk menarik perhatian orang sekeliling sekiranya diganggu atau merasa terancam. Dapatkan pelbagai informasi bermanfaat bersama Nona setiap Ahad jam 2 petang di TV3.
Welcome back. US President Donald Trump has signed a proclamation barring entry to citizens from 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Iran, Libya and Somalia. The ban, set to take effect Monday, cites national security concerns and high visa overstay rates. 7 other nations, including Cuba, Venezuela and Togo, face partial restrictions. Exemptions, however, apply to lawful US residents and certain visa holders. The move follows a recent attack in Colorado by an individual in the US illegally, though not from the banned countries. At least 11 people have died and dozens more injured after a stampede broke outside a cricket stadium in Hyderabad, India. Chaos unfolded on Wednesday as thousands of fans gathered to buy tickets for a highly anticipated match, causing a sudden surge at the gates. According to local media, security was overwhelmed and organisers were unprepared for the massive crowd. Many of the victims are believed to be young fans, including students. Emergency crews rushed to the scene while officials have promised a full investigation into crowd control failures. In New Zealand, 3 Maori Party MPs were handed record-length suspensions from Parliament on Thursday after performing haka during a legislative session last November, protesting a controversial bill that sought to redefine the Treaty of Waitangi. The co-leaders have been suspended for 21 days, while the other member received a 7-day ban. The Parliamentary Privileges Committee deemed their actions disruptive and potentially intimidating, marking the longest suspensions in New Zealand's parliamentary history. Opposition parties and Maori rights advocates, however, have criticised the decision as disproportionate and racially motivated.
7 days. To the contrary, no.
Switching to sports now, badminton, the 2025 Indonesia Open. National shuttlers continued their strong performance at the Super 1000 tournament on Thursday after securing victories over their respective opponents to advance to the quarterfinals. In an all-Malaysian men's doubles match, Gozi Fei and Nur Izzuddin Rumsani survived a major scare, rallying to beat world number 28 compatriots Nur Muhammad Azrin Ayub and Tan Hui Kiong 21-14, 16-21, 21-14 in a tense second-round clash. Up next, the world number 1 pair will take on Indonesia's 8th seeds Sabar Gutama and Mohreza Isfahani in the last 8. In the women's doubles event, Perlitan and Mtina fought back from a set-down to beat Indonesia's Lanitria Mayasari and Siti Fadia Silva Ramadanti 18-21, 21-16, 21-17 after a 58-minute battle. World number 4 Perli and Tina will meet the winners of the match between compatriots Ong Shin Hee and Carmen Ting and Japan's Rin Iwanaga and Ki Nakanishi in the quarterfinals. Earlier mixed doubles, Chen Tangji and Toh Iwei joined Goh Soon Huat and Siobhan Lai in the quarterfinals. The world number 4 pair took only 31 minutes to defeat Denmark's Mats Vestergaard and Christine Busch Andresen 21-9, 21-12, setting up another Denmark clash against Jesper Toft and Emily Megalud in the last 8. Their victory came shortly after Soon Huat and Siobhan booked their quarterfinal spot earlier after dispatching Indonesia's Amri Shahnawi and Nita Violina Marwa 21-12, 21-17. Turning to tennis, the 2025 Roland Garros in Paris. Novak Djokovic kept up his quest for a record-breaking 25th Grand Slam title after battling past Alexander Zverev on Wednesday to set up a semi-final clash against top seed Jannik Sinner. The three-time champion fought past third seed Zverev 4-6, 6-3, 6-2, 6-4 in a grueling duel that captivated court Philippe Chatrier for over 3.25 hours. The former world number 1 is just 2 matches away from becoming the first player to win 25 Grand Slam singles trophies. Earlier, world number 1 Sinner marched ahead in his relentless pursuit of a maiden French Open title with a typically efficient 6-1, 7-5, 6-love win over Kazakh showman Alexander Bublik to reach the semi-finals. The near-flawless victory ensured Sinner's status as the first Italian man to make 6 Grand Slam semi-finals and extended his winning run in the majors to 19 matches after his triumphs at last year's US Open and the Australian Open in January. And that concludes this edition of Nightline. Before we leave, let's take a look as pilgrims from around the world gathered on Mount Arafat on the sacred day of Arafah for prayers, reflections and forgiveness. I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for watching and stay safe.